Hello and welcome to Yarn ChickHen with Mrs. T and friends, Vlogmas Day 13. I'm Mrs. T and we're all the friends. Today we're going to talk about Crochet Club and a mini yarn haul, Buttercup miniatures, the Advent Knitalong, the Scottish word of the day. I know everybody waits with bated breath for that. Some ALDI shopping and some post that is happy mail. So today I had Crochet Club, and where is that located, Mr. T?
That's in our local Kirkcaldy galleries and War Memorial Gardens and Museum.
And because when I went there, there's a lot of people who donate yarn and things like that to the Crochet Club. I was digging around looking for some gray wool because I decided today to put my mini jumper in timeout. I was working on my Buttercup Knitalong and I got 4 rows in this morning and I was quite pleased with myself. So as you do, I was straightening the stitches up, rolling it out, and I looked at it and I did a purl stitch halfway through one of the rows on a knit stitch row. And I had to I did frog it back. I didn't tink it back. I tinked the first row and I thought, boy, this is taking too long. So I just pulled it out and I had to re-knit all 4 rows. But you will be glad to know that I finally got day 4 done. So now I'm going to be starting day 5. And hopefully I'll finish the front of that mini jumper soon. But back to the Crochet Club. Because my mini jumper was in timeout, I decided with all my brightness in my head that I was going to knit the little penguin in one of my new Crochet Now magazines. So I threw all the yarn I would need in the bag and off we went to Crochet Club. So I'm sitting there and I'm pulling out the yarn and I started knitting and then, started crocheting it because it's a crochet. Obviously it's a crochet pattern, Crochet Now. And I was having trouble seeing the stitches. Normally when we have Crochet Club, the room we're in, there's really bright and there's lots of natural light and it's a really good room for knitting and crocheting. But it was overcast today. So it wasn't very bright in there, and the lights that were in there weren't making things very bright, and I have a hard time seeing black wool in just normally, and yeah, I was struggling a little bit. So I had to start over not once, not twice, not even 3 times. I started over 4 times because I couldn't see the stitches. So what I had done is one of the very nice ladies, after she was finished laughing at me when I had to start over the 4th time, she said, why don't you just go dig around in the wool over there? She goes, that's, stuff that's been donated. Go dig around in the wool over there. Maybe there's a gray ball of yarn in there. And I thought, what, that's a good idea. And the reason the gray ball is because, the baby penguins are gray fluffy little things. So I thought I'll make it a baby penguin. It looks like a baby penguin anyway. I'll make it a baby penguin. So I was digging around, and I found a lot of tiny wool that would be really good for the Edwardian miniatures knitting that they recommend the size wool for knitting those. I'll have to work on that so I can bring something in next time. Have Crochet Club.
That's all free stuff.
I'm trying to find some gray, but I don't see any in here. And I thought, wow, I'm going to take that. That's really good. So I was talking to the woman, Candace, that runs the place, and she was telling me, oh, no one really uses that. We get that donated. I have some more I can give you if you want it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to say no. So she brought me some more of this small gauge wool. So this is what she brought me. Sorry, I have to bend down to get it. So she brought me a whole bunch of this. It's fantastic. 50-gram pure cotton, a UK 18 hook, or a US 0, if you know what a US 0, or sorry, is that a hook or? I'm not sure, but it's a 1.25 is what they recommend for the hooks and the needles.
Fildar, yep. Oh, that's thin, yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically crochet thread. And then there was this, and someone didn't even use this. This is cotton, and it's got a little bit of a sparkle shine effect, but it's not, it's just shiny. It's not anything, it's wool that's been shinied. I don't know how to explain it, but it does have some shiny viscose, I guess is what it is.
It's a pretty blue color anyway.
Yes. This is the first time, if I seem like I'm stumbling over what I'm saying, this is the first time I'm really looking at the labels, because she basically just brought me a bag full of crochet thread. So I'm almost as surprised to be pulling out what I'm pulling out as you are to see it. And that's very pretty. And then here's another. It's already been used. Some more white crochet thread. This doesn't have the ball band. Like I said, it was donated, so I really don't know what it is, but I presume it's probably cotton, because most people don't use acrylics to crochet thread with in the UK. They might in other places, but in the UK it's usually always cotton.
Now, for the uninitiated like me, cotton is quite expensive and heavy, so that's a cracking wee haul.
It is, and it is usually quite expensive. And I mean, just the colors that she brought out to me, like this is like a really nice plum.
It's almost a rich velvety burgundy
Or
color,
a burgundy, yeah. I mean, I don't know how well you're getting.
A smoking jacket being made of that back in the day.
That's really nice. And no label, but like I said, these are donated, so anything with a label's a bonus. And then here's another one of the first one I showed you. It's the same thing. Still has the label and everything. So I'll just pop that over there. Sorry about the crinkling. Some of this came in a plastic bag. Oops. Okay, this might be troublesome because everything's sticking together. And that's red.
Okay.
Sorry about the crinkling. And then there's some more red with a bunch of scraps stuck to it. But like I said, this is the first time I've really been going through it.
That's like British postbox red or telephone kiosk red, isn't it?
And this little... and there's a yellow with something stuck to it as well, but it's okay. It's not dirty.
Almost looks like a tennis ball that could be at Wimbledon.
And this was a bit of a bonus because this came with some small or narrow gauge knitting needles. So these don't actually have a size, so I'm going to have to check those out. But if I'm if I'm not mistaken, they actually look like Knit Pro knitting needles, but I'm not 100% sure, but they sure do look like them. And then there's these ones that are actually marked, and these are 2.5 millimeter, these red ones. They're all 2.5 millimeter. And this one here is also unmarked. So I really don't know what that is, but I thought that was a bonus at getting those. But like I said, a lot of the people in the crochet and the knitting club don't really like to use tiny things. They don't even really use tiny hooks, those that crochet. And then, just so you know, I did strike gold. I did get some nice gray, and it's quite fluffy, baby penguin gray yarn. I thought that was suitable for it. So I did actually find the gray yarn I was looking for. And then I stumbled over this, and I couldn't resist it. Could not resist it. A cone of 4-ply, multicolored blues and purples, and I just love the color, so I had to have it. So that's my unintentional mini haul after I went to Crochet Club. So while I was inside starting and stopping my penguin, what were you doing, Mr. T?
Well, as it was dry-ish, I decided to take some photos and a little video of the gardens, because there was a new cairn that was installed in July, so I thought that might be quite interesting for our little channel. So now when I came back inside to meet Mrs. T after I went shopping, and we'll see the shopping in a minute, but after I went shopping, I came back inside, and Candace grabbed me and pointed me to what you see on the screen now, and she said, "There's your assignment." So here's another wee montage of what I have to do over the Christmas holidays. You see, Mrs. T makes me work even when I'm supposed to be having a day off.
Hey, don't blame me. That was Candace. She was putting idle fingers to work. You came strolling in, you sat down all relaxed, you started eating all the biscuits and all the sweets that were out, and she probably figured you needed to earn those biscuits and sweets.
You're right,
and
actually
gave you an assignment.
You are right, because I saw the biscuits and I did go out and get a chocolate biscuit, and that's when she said, "Oh, and we've got this here, and look, you can take away a little green ball of wool and a red ball of wool and this crochet hook and make those, and that's your little assignment."
Yep, that's
Merry
what you
Christmas,
get.
Candace.
That's
Merry
what you
Christmas.
get. I love Candace. She's fantastic. She does a lot for that crochet club because she's usually by herself. She does get help sometimes, especially when she goes on holiday. They step in and stuff, but she does a really good job. And there's so many people in there. They have to put people into the cafe part and have them knit and crochet in the cafe part, because sometimes there's so many people that turn up. It's quite popular. It's a very, very good place to go, and they're very welcoming, and they're nice to everybody. Some places you feel a little bit, left out and unloved, but they're very, very good at making people feel welcomed. So what we will move on to, Mr. T, guess what time it is? It's time for the Scottish word of the day, and you can tell us what it is in all your Scottishness.
Well, I don't like to ruin a surprise, so before I tell the viewers what the meaning of the word of the day is, I will show them a montage and see if they can guess. So the word of the day, following on from yesterday's word of the day, is messages. There, I bet you weren't thinking that was going to be the meaning of messages. I bet you thought it was, oh, like text messages or instant messages. No, no, no. In Scotland, when we say messages, it means we're going shopping, grocery shopping. We're going to the supermarket, we're going to get the groceries, we're going to get the messages. You need to pop out and get the messages. You need to get the messages for tea, for dinner, to eat. So there you go. That was the messages that I got this afternoon while Mrs. T was at her crochet club. So that was that. And when we came home, I noticed that from the outside, the flap of the letterbox was open, which meant there was some mail inside. So I opened the door and lo and behold, there was a little package. Yay! Somebody got some happy mail.
Yes, so I was still looking for some other shops in the UK that might sell smaller gauged knitting needles. So this shop was on eBay and it had smaller gauge knitting needles. It didn't have any quite as small as the other two shops I had mentioned before, but they did have 1.5 millimeter needles and 1.75 millimeter needles. And I got double pointed needles, which are also known as DPNs, because I prefer to use them when I'm knitting miniatures. I use other ones for other things, but I use these for miniatures, and that's what they look like. Can you see that?
Got the point on one end.
So there's points on both ends, double pointed.
Okay.
So there's a point on this end, and then there's a point on that end.
Yes.
And so I'm going to try these out. I just got them today. Haven't had a chance to try them out. We came home, we made dinner, and so we haven't actually had a chance to try them out. I haven't had a chance to try them out. Mr. T's not touching them.
No.
But.
Never.
But so he hasn't had a chance to try them out.
I've got enough with my assignment to be not worrying about other stuff.
Any other questions, Mr. T?
No, I'm done. I think it's a cup of tea time for Mr. T. Can do stuff.
Well, again, we're moving right along. So thank you for joining us. Subscribe, comment, like and share. It's all free and it helps the channel out. If you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching all the way through. And let's hope we see you all tomorrow for Vlogmas Day 14. Bye.
Bye-bye now.